Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Happy Monday. I hope your day is off to a great start. Remember, it's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great week. And of course, a lot of this is in your control. A lot of this is between your ears. What you put out, you're going to get back. If you don't believe that, just try it. Try it. If you think everything sucks, what do you get back in return? Try this experiment. Seriously. Become irritated, become cynical, and see what you get in return. I am guarantee you, or I'm willing to bet a lot, that you're going to get the same in return. So stay positive, stay grateful, and do the work. Special thanks to you, the first responder out there, the criminal justice professional, whatever you were doing, wherever you were at. Thank you for doing it. Thank you for doing it. And remember this, you are honored, cherished, and above all, you are loved. Keep up the fantastic work. And folks, if you're struggling out there, and I know a lot of you are, or you know people who are, please reach out to FHE Health and their Shatterproof program for first responders. I have attended this program when I was in some pretty dark places in my life. I'm pretty candid about this. I'm an open book. I wanted to hurt myself at one point, and I got the help I needed and deserved at Shatterproof. They gave me the foundation to go forward in my life. So reach out today if you're suffering. You can contact me too, 303-960-9819. The link to FHE Health and Shatterproof is going to be in the show notes. And in a minute, you're going to hear from my good friend, Jimmy Keefe, who's also in recovery, who works in the Shatterproof program. Amazing individual. And as you head into your Monday, I hope you have a good day. I've been getting a lot of questions recently. I got a question. I've heard this about 3 or 4 times now in the last week or two. And somebody reached out to me online and said, what is my biggest fear? What is my biggest fear? And of course, a lot of people, their biggest fear is what? Death. And I'm afraid of death like everybody else, but not as afraid as my other biggest fear. My biggest fear, probably, the more I think about it, is not living up to the potential I know I have. That's my biggest fear. And I stumble and I have setbacks just like everybody else, just like you probably. But I know deep down that there is a version of me out there somewhere in the universe that I need to become. Now the trick is to align yourself, or align myself, since I'm talking about me, into that person that I'm destined to be. I think we all are like that deep down. We all want to be a better version of ourselves, at least most of us, myself, included. So that's probably my biggest fear, getting to the point in my life where I'm in my final days, and I have a chance to reflect. And I have a chance to reflect like a lot of people do, I imagine, on their deathbed, and they're thinking about their life and what they could have done better, to do better, to be happier, to be more grateful, whatever the case may be, whatever the case is. I think I've told this story before. One of the best things I've ever heard, and it really got me thinking about my own mortality and my biggest fear, is I remember hearing this somewhere on a show. I believe it was a podcast. I can't remember the guy's name. I apologize. But he said his personal hell, his version of hell, is on his dying, or when he's on his final days, he's breathing his last breaths, and he finally succumbs. He finally passes. The person he is now meets in the afterlife the person he was supposed to be. And in his mind, in his definition of hell, that's what it is. That is pretty profound when you think about it. The person you are meets the person you could have been. I think it's profound. So what's the lesson in all this? Well, for me, it's I have to constantly move the ball down the field. If it's a 1 yard at a time, if it's an inch at a time, that's fine with me, as long as it's forward progress. I remember hearing, and I talked about this before too, the statistic 400 trillion to 1. I don't know if you ever heard that. And I'm going to explain what it means. 400 trillion to 1. This is scientific. They've actually done calculations and, with all these people with huge brains. 400 trillion to 1 is the probability of you being born you. That is the statistical probability. They've come up with a formula. Don't ask me how, but they have, and I believe it, 400 trillion to 1. The statistical probability of you being you, me being me. Now, does anybody know what are the chances of winning the lottery, the Powerball, or Mega Millions, or whatever? Well, that's about 1 in 300 million. So what does that mean in the terms of probability of you being born? That equates to you or me, or whoever, winning the lottery 1.33 million times. Let that sink in. It's amazing. So what does this mean for me? That means that, like you, I have this one life that I've been blessed with by God. So I believe in God. Time is limited. I know we all think or most of us think we have all this unlimited time. No, we don't. We're only here for a brief whisper, in my opinion. So that is my biggest fear, not living up to my true potential. But that is internal work, just like it's internal work for you. For some people, living up to your full potential might be $1 million or 10 million or 50 million or whatever. That's not mine. Sure, I love money. That's not necessarily mine. I have other visions, other dreams, other goals indicative to me. That's on my scale, just like you have a scale, or do you have goals, whatever. So that is my biggest fear, folks. So I encourage you to really dive deep this week and figure out, be honest with yourself. You can bullshit other people, but you can't bullshit yourself. Dig deep. Do a search warrant of yourself and really come up with the thing that you are most fearful about. And then the key is, what's the solution? Well, you have to find that solution, but there is. And it's all internal. It's all intrinsic. But you can do it. Just like I know I can do it. I know I can do it. So as you go out through this day, I hope first and foremost, you're safe. Stay safe all the time. And know that you are loved. And people care about you. People want the best for you. I know sometimes it doesn't seem like that. And if people are treating you bad, you don't need people like that in your life. Plain and simple. But know that you are loved and honored and cherished. So I hope you have a fantastic week. Please reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. CJEvolution.com. All my stuff is on the website. And get ready for a great guest this week. Good friend of mine. He's back again for round 2. You're going to love him. Stay tuned, everybody. Take care and be safe.